What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Brian Watkins, and welcome to the Brian Watkins channel. My subject today, all right, is why are handicapped, crippled women behaving with a nasty, ungrateful attitude towards men? Now, why I'm making this video is because I want to find out is other men going through it, not just brothers, just men in general, no matter what nationality you are. Now, I didn't want to make this video, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Fellas, how many times have you seen a woman who's a handicap? They could be in a wheelchair, quadriplegic, on crutches, and let's say that you going in the Starbucks. Out of common courtesy, you will open the door for her to let her get in first because she's handicapped, and you don't want other people to look at you like you're a real, no matter having scumbag for not opening the door for a handicapped woman, right? Right. All right, that was an example. Check this out. All right, first time, this was about, I probably, well, it was around the time Michael Jackson had died. And I was working at this medical facility. I was doing security there. And my responsibility was, to screen people for various things. Like if they come in, if a woman come in and she's having extreme stomach pains because she's pregnant, she can get passed over everybody else and get immediately took to the back. All right, so this one attractive looking woman came in. She was handicapped. She was confined to a wheelchair. I don't know what happened, but she was paralyzed from the waist down. She was real pretty too, so I just started my shift and I'm just, watching the building because I'm doing security. So we started talking a little bit. I was just talking just to make the time go by. I wasn't trying to talk to her. So somehow away we got on the subject of exchanging phone numbers. And the first conversation wasn't too bad. Make a long story short, she was a nightmare from hell. And I'm like, okay, now, my viewers, please understand I'm not being unsympathetic. I'm not lacking any empathy, and I'm not making mockery. But this woman was really extremely rude, and I'm like, okay, you're paralyzed from the waist down. You should be grateful to somebody even talking to you. She was really pretty, but how many times have you all seen people treat people that is handicapped different? I've seen it a bunch of times. I'm from the Midwest, so a lot of stuff going on in the Midwest ain't too cool. Just the regular order today for the last few decades. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I went on and left for long because the more we talked, the worse she behaved. And I was like, no wonder some handicapped people don't have a mate. Their attitude. Now, this happened about 20 minutes ago. Okay, fast forward all the way up to today, 2017. Now, I saw this real attractive looking woman, this handicap challenged. So about a week ago, she came and I actually waved at her. She waved back. I'm like, cool. I wasn't waving at her to try to, holler at her. I just waved at her. Hey, we passed each other a few times, I noticed she was staring at me. And I'm like, okay. So last week after that, I saw her again. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we waved at each other. She come in, I'm not making mockery how she came in her own way being handicapped. She gonna look at me and her neck kind of, I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. Please understand that. I don't find people that are handicapped funny or to be mocked at or laughed at. All right, but she, looked at me her own way. Her neck is kind of deformed a little bit. And she ignored me. And I'm like, okay. It took me all the way back to, remember that one you met around the time Michael Jackson just passed away? She was from hell, and she was paralyzed from the waist down, um, in a wheelchair. And it made me think. I said, maybe those two people wasn't born that way. They might have pissed somebody off, and then somebody probably roughed them up and put them in that situation. Because I'm thinking, if you're handicapped challenged, you know, life is good, but life sometimes is cruel too. I've watched people be really mean towards handicapped people. And I'm like, okay, then you finally come across someone that's not asking you for anything, no money or anything like that. And you have the audacity to behave like an asshole? So I was like, all right, bet. But this happened 20 minutes ago. All right, so I'm in the cafeteria eating, right? So she came in. I'm like, ah. Remember, I used to watch Woody Woodpecker cartoons a lot, or Bugs Bunny, or Tom and Jerry. And they had playback how somebody did them the other time, and they behaved different. So this time I went on back to what I was doing. I think I was looking at something on YouTube or something. And you can feel somebody, mean mugging you. So I happened to just kind of look over there, and her neck was kind of like this, look at me like, "Oh, bitch, you trying to ignore me? I'm gonna fuck you up." And I'm like, "Whatever. You already history. I was not trying to talk to you anyway. I was just speaking out of common courtesy." Then check this out, y'all. Guess what she gonna turn around to do? Now, usually women that are not handicapped and fine have done this to me, and I'm sure, fellas, you done been through it too. When they see that you ignoring them or not giving them the attention they desire, you know, they'll go over and talk to another guy. They might even hug him, or put their titties all in his face and look over at you like, yeah, see? Do you know she had the audacity to do this? And I feel sorry for the brother because, we ain't stupid. He looking like, wait a minute. Why are you trying to, he's here like, hey, how you doing? He like, hi. Could you but not touch my And he looking like, I know you are not using me to try to get this man over here jealous and he ain't even thinking about you. So she went on and asked him to watch her stuff and she went somewhere. I went on and unplugged my phone from my charger, packed it on up, and I'm trying to bust up before she even get back. Now, even though she handicapped and kind of take a little slow to get what she got, I don't know how she did it, but man, I looked up. She was looking like this, like, oh, motherfucker, you think you gonna leave? So I was like, all right, whatever. So I went on and left. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, she's still a woman, so it's on. So tune in for part 2 on what happened with the ungrateful handicapped woman that want to behave like she ain't. So again, subscribe to my channel. You know why? For 2 reasons. I make videos constantly, and you can have a chance to win cash and prizes, but you won't know how to win if you don't subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to always use a previous video saying some key phrase, and you got to fill in the blank. But you would need to know on the new video, and by subscribing to it, you will get it before anybody else will. So if you like my channel, you can click that you do. If you don't, click that you don't. And be sure to continue to support the Brian Watkins channel by making a donation. And also be on the lookout because I'm about to give my new Bitcoin account so that you can make your donations there about the same or a little faster so I can have better content. Don't you go anywhere.